Welcome to Love and Marriage Broadcast with your host Harold and Delanico on Life Choice Radio, designed to help you establish, strengthen, save, and restore your marriage. And oh yeah, find the road to it. Their passion for helping people worldwide find their way of success in relationships, rather single, married, or blended families, fuels them to share their wisdom they've gained over 20 years and counting. So you get ready to hear their approach to healing, restoration, hope, and encouragement. This is Love and Marriage. Now, here's your host, Harold and Delanico McDonald.
Good evening, everyone. Hey, this is Harold and Delanico McDonald with Love and Marriage, and we are so excited to be with you on tonight. I think that we got a good conversation going on.
Yes, because it's one of our conversations. It's
Yeah,
just me and you.
just the two.
Oh, baby.
So, hey, buckle up, and we want to share some great tips and tools with you that you can use in your marriage. Yeah.
So, hey, if you're tuning in, wherever you're tuning in at, let us know in the chat. Let us know if it's Texas, North Carolina, New York, Chicago, California, around the world. Let us know where you're tuning in from. So, hey, if you catch us on replay, because we're only going to be on 15 minutes, you guys. We don't have long at all. It's been a long night, but we wanted to come on and share some of our story with you tonight. So, um, yeah, if you're tuning in after replay, just hit hashtag replay and let us know you're tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could chat with us too. We do read the comments, so you can chat with us and we'll respond back.
Yes.
But hey, I want to jump right into this
Let's
with your
jump right
handsome
in.
self, sir.
Oh, shoot. Hey, thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, we want to talk about focusing on yourself.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I thought it was awesome is that just to talk a little bit about what I've learned from you in these years of being with you and being by your side,
Hmm.
and how our relationship has taught me so much.
Hmm.
I've literally grew as a lady,
Hmm.
as a woman. And yeah, so anyway, I just want to jump right on in,
Let's
if
jump
that's
in.
okay.
Yeah, let's jump in. Focus on yourself
Yes.
is one of the things that I feel in marriages that we don't do a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
We always focusing on the
The other
other,
person.
the other person
Mm-hmm.
when we should be focusing on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in our relationships, we tend to um, put blame on each other.
Yeah,
Like,
pointing out a
you
finger.
shouldn't have did that. You
Right.
shouldn't have did that.
Mm-hmm.
When it should be, what could I have done differently?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is one thing that I really like how you brought that up. This is one of the things that I've learned from you in communication.
Hmm.
Your communication style was different from mine.
Hmm.
And it could be because I was the oldest child. I'm not sure where. I mean, I've been telling people what to do since I was 1 or 2 years old. I'm not only the oldest child, but I'm the oldest grandchild
Right.
from my on my father's side.
Hmm.
So it's like I just yeah, I want to tell you what I think should be done right away.
Hmm.
So one of the things that I learned from you is when we were dating, we were newly at dating, and I was at the barbershop.
Hmm.
And I remember I had was at the vending machine and getting something stuck or whatever, and a couple of the guys was like, trying to help me out with the vending machine, and they cracked a few jokes, and
Hmm.
I was cracking up. Well, actually, I was giggling, because how we women have our little giggling, when you especially when you're young. I was real young, so I'm giggling, and I tell you about it, right?
Right.
And you never did jump down my throat about it. But what you said is that sometimes that, people could be testing you and you never want to look or present yourself a certain way in
Hmm.
front of men, especially men who are trying to come on to
Flirt.
you or flirt.
Hmm.
Yes. And I really liked your approach about it because it was a teachable moment for me
Hmm.
because, of course, I'm still single, right?
Right.
So I'm carrying singleness into the marriage or
Hmm.
relationship. We was just newly at dating.
Hmm.
And so you taught me how to interact It took me a while though, but you taught me how to interact without accusation,
Mm-hmm.
like how to talk to you, and you would, just like you saying, hey, I don't want guys to look at you a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
or you to present yourself any kind of way. So this is what sometimes guys think when they see young women doing this and that.
But it was really amazing to me that it was such new information to you.
It was.
But you work in the prison.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, with me working in a prison though, it was like a lot different, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a work face on.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't at work. I was out and about. But yeah, yeah, work game was different. Yeah,
Mm, wow.
that was a whole nother territory. I didn't allow people to compliment me at work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is the thing is that I did not know how to do it to you. If I had a problem with something I saw, or I thought a woman was playing flirt, first off, I'll be like, "Did you see her flirting at you? Did you see her winking at you?" And she smiled
Mm-hmm.
a certain way, and the first thing you would say is,
Nope.
"Nope." I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. Who was flirting? Ain't nobody flirting with me.
Right.
Nobody flirting with me.
But I never paid attention to that. In my work, at work, I was working.
Right.
I was doing what I love to do.
Right.
When people would come into the shop, I would say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yes.
Like I did to you.
Yes.
"Hey,
Yes.
Miss D, how are you?" I would always engage
Yeah.
with my customers.
Yes.
So um, I never really thought that I had to have them, them antennas up,
So
when I was at
that
work.
that makes sense, but
Hmm.
I don't even think I would talk to you about it. Like you actually sat me down and we talked about it. I mean, like not set me down, but we
Right.
talked about it, right? Whereas for me, I didn't know how to talk to you about it.
Hmm.
I'm just like, "Hey, don't do that. Boss man, you can't be let women be in your face like that, because their intentions is wrong." Like I saw her and I saw the way she was looking at you.
And that was amazing to me too, because I never paid attention to it. But when you said it,
Now it will
I
start
start, oh,
start
okay.
zoning
Is
in.
this what this is? This is why she nice,
But I think that this is like something so important that I think like our viewers need to get here tonight. It's like one of the things is that we did realize that we protect each other
Hmm.
and we cover one another, but it was all about the approach,
Hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
if my approach, like I will put you on defense.
Hmm.
And my thing with you was like, wait, do you see my perspective?
Hmm.
And your thing was you coming at me like sideways.
Hmm.
Like, hold up. I ain't did nothing wrong. I don't plan on doing nothing wrong. But the way you're coming at me is like you're already accusing me
Yeah.
of something. You didn't like the feeling, the approach that I had. So I had to learn how to back up because we would disagree about
Hmm.
sometimes when I see things with women I didn't like.
Right.
And so what we learned one day, I don't know, one day it just seemed like it clicked with both of us.
Hmm.
Like we was able to put ourselves in each other's shoes
Hmm.
and saw the way each other felt.
Right.
And so I began to focus on myself.
Mm,
And
that
I
was
took the
good.
focus off of you.
Yeah.
And I said, how am I approaching this? Because I'm trying to communicate to my husband, but I need to communicate in a way where I don't put him on defense.
Hmm.
And you know what I thought about?
What's that?
Is how you talk to me.
Hmm.
I thought about how you approach me when situations come up. I remember one time we had a guest over coming over to the house and I had some shorts. I think I had some shorts on or
Hmm.
something. And you was like, "Oh no." Like, "Oh baby." He was like, "Baby, I want to be the only one looking at all of that, you know." And but the way you said it, it wasn't like you was, no pointing of the fingers. It was just we laughed about it. I ran upstairs and changed. Um, and it was all good. But I started mimicking you,
Hmm.
and I believe that that took us down a better path.
Yeah, it did. It did because it, most men, we don't communicate really. We can, but we don't. You get really
Mm,
some men you got to pull it out of them. And so when we would enter into any kind of communication,
mm.
with each other,
Right.
it was like going into a
A
war
war
zone. You
zone.
got to be careful.
Gotta
You're like, okay, well, why does she want to talk to me? Like, we need to talk. See, them are the wrong words to
the
say.
key words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you shouldn't say that,
Yeah.
because now we got to put up a defense because
Defense.
I don't
Right.
know what's going on, what she
Right.
want to talk about. So
Right.
now I need to make sure that I cover myself.
Yeah, I think that was so good that you brought that up because that made me think about another point for me was again just learning how to communicate,
Hmm.
how to dialogue with you, and in a respectful way. And
Hmm.
so one of the things that I remember, I remember one time we were talking, and it just seemed like it was a eureka moment for me
Hmm.
where I realized that I didn't make you feel comfortable with sharing anything about any woman. Like if you was the dialogue about another woman, I would all of a sudden I'm zoning in
Yeah.
like now the whole world stops like what? Okay, now what she look like? Who is she? Like, what did y'all say? Like y'all was together? Okay, so when you say y'all was talking like where were y'all at when y'all was
Hmm.
talking? Like was y'all by yourself? Like I had to start learning like, whoa, you making him feel unsafe, And I didn't understand that at first, but then when I started really focusing on myself again and learning, better ways to communicate with you,
Hmm.
my concerns, understanding what was a concern and what wasn't,
Hmm.
because you are a people's person, and I
Hmm.
never wanted to change your personality, the
Hmm.
way you connect. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with you,
Hmm.
is because of your personality and the way you connected with people.
Hmm.
You genuinely love
And
people.
that was something that I learned from working with Youngblood. Youngblood was a person
Oh,
who who loved people, who loved
yeah.
talking to people. He knew everything. If you wanted to know about how to, I don't know, buy a car,
Yes.
he had all the information on what you needed to do when you go
Yeah.
purchase a car. So, Youngblood was very knowledgeable, but he was also relational with a lot of his customers. And so I learned that early on
Hmm.
um, in my business.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's
That's
why
good.
I knew everybody's name.
Yeah.
I wanted to make people feel special and feel comfortable
Yeah.
in my establishment. And
Hmm.
I think I succeeded in that,
Yes. Over 30
because I
years.
remember
Yes,
you
sir.
coming in and we formed a friendship. It
Yes.
wasn't nothing flirty
Oh,
or
no.
anything. And when you would come in every time, I would say, "Hey, Miss D,
Yes,
how
you
you?"
would. Hmm.
Making you feel special, like
Yeah.
you was the only one. You know.
Yeah, but I knew I wasn't because I would see you respond the same way to everyone
Hmm.
who walked in the door, whether male or female, and that stood out to me. I got something else though too
Okay.
that I learned from you and was helped me to focus on myself as well was your ability to give room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if I see something go wrong, I want to jump in there and correct it and control it, and I didn't want you to make mistakes
Hmm.
at all.
Hmm.
Like I noticed that with you and with our children, I just did not want no one to make mistakes. It might cost us too much. But then what I learned from you through the years is that it's okay.
Hmm.
If I get it wrong, it's okay. Let me figure that out. That I made a mistake and let me figure my path
Yeah,
out.
that's really good because I learned that from the leader that I was um, up under.
Yes.
You know, he gave people room to grow.
Wow, that's
You
good.
know, he allowed people to make mistakes,
Mm,
and I learned that. You know, learned that like, man, stop judging people. People are
yes.
not like you. Y'all wasn't
Yes.
raised up in the same house, and
Yes.
people have different backgrounds, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to give people room to grow
Oh,
because
that's
there are not
good.
people like you.
Yeah.
So as a leader,
Mm,
I understand now
mm-hmm.
that people gonna do all sorts of things.
Mm.
I'm not surprised by that
Yes.
because with that you're growing.
Yes.
You know, with the mistakes you're growing.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I'm 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 more gracious
Yes,
and
that's the
merciful
word.
to people,
That's good.
because as a pastor or a leader,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be patient with people.
Yes.
People are not like you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember early on in our relationship, I would be very, I don't know if it's critical or
Mm.
whatever.
We can say
Okay,
critical. We could
critical.
use that word.
I was very critical because I'm an A type person. Like,
Yes.
I feel like if I put the uh, lay the rug down,
Mm.
I feel like everybody should be able to do it.
Right,
You can do
right,
that.
right.
That ain't nothing. I
Mm-hmm.
just felt like that.
Right.
But over the years, I realized that God
Mm.
had given me a gift
Yes.
to see things and do it.
Mm.
And so over the years, you have seen me build things and
Yes, I have.
lay
Lay
floor,
down,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
change the walls.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, that's a gift, and
Yes.
everybody don't have that gift.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I
Mm.
realized that even though you have my last name, we don't think the same.
Yes,
And so, and
absolutely.
you're a woman, and I'm a man. And
Uh-huh.
so, man, I have learned that's really uh, one of the biggest things that men could ever really learn is
Mm.
knowing that she's a woman
Yes.
and you're a man.
Yes.
And we have two different duties
Yes.
as people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am a provider.
Mm-hmm.
You are a nurturer.
Yes.
And that's what we do. And we
Mm-hmm.
stay in our roles
Yeah.
when it comes to parenting.
Oh my
And
goodness. You just said a lot.
mm,
You just said a lot because I think about how I felt like I became softer
mhm,
and I became more feminine when you and I got together because you are such a man and you really wanted to make sure that you took lead.
mhm,
And I had to learn how to be okay with that because
mhm,
I was complaining and whining like, I'm tired of being by myself. I'm tired of making all the decisions. I'm tired of being coming home and I don't have nobody to talk to, you know. So now that you came,
mhm,
it's like when you make a decision, I found myself at first wanting to rebuttal or wanting to be disagreeable.
mhm,
And then I had to realize, wait a minute, you pray for a strong man, you pray
mhm,
for a man who would take lead, and maybe you don't take lead the way I would.
mhm,
You take lead in your way. And I what I begin to do is compliment you
mhm. That's good.
and I focused on myself, like stop being critical of how he's leading. You
Mhm,
know, it may not be the way you would lead, but he's leading.
mhm,
And it takes weight off of you. And so now I could focus on being more of a lady,
mhm,
being more soft. I could focus on being soft and just being in my lane as
mhm,
a wife.
mhm,
And because you picked up that role, and then I was able to fall back
mhm.
and let you be you. Let
Yeah,
you do you.
I wanted to be the man.
Yes,
I wanted
sir.
to be your husband.
Yes.
You
And
know,
take care of me and
yeah.
cover me,
I
protect me.
I didn't want you to bring in the groceries, and to this day, you still
I
don't
still
bring in the
don't.
groceries.
I still
And
don't.
so
Yeah.
you allow me to be the man that God
Hmm.
created me to be,
Yes.
and you gave me room to grow. I made a
Yeah.
lot of mistakes.
We both
Yeah, I made a
did.
lot of mistakes. Made a lot
Yes.
of mistakes, but
Yes.
you gave me the opportunity to get it right,
Yeah.
or to fail again. You know.
Well, that's one thing I learned from you too is that, I remember us talking one time because sometimes we can hold in our feelings
Hmm.
and we could be bothered by something, but we won't discuss it with each other. And it could be because we don't have a safe place. But I've always told people, like, write it down.
Hmm.
Be creative at how to communicate with your spouse because
Hmm.
it's unfair to them if they offend you and they don't know it.
Hmm.
If I stepped on your toe and I didn't say ouch or hold on,
Hmm.
then you could step on my toe again, not knowing that you stepped on it the first time. So whose fault is
It's
that?
your fault.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
with talking to you, I would like if I have to text you or write you a letter or we had beepers back then, y'all. We didn't have no text messages back then, but
Beepers.
yeah, we had beepers and
Wow.
pagers.
Wow.
That was old, huh?
Right.
I'm dating us, huh? But you got to figure out a way to communicate. But one of the things that I learned from you too is is just making sure um, that when I do communicate, that I let you know how I'm feeling, but do it in a respectful way.
Hmm.
Not putting you down, not being so strong. I think
Hmm.
that's one of the things we came up with is
Hmm.
like, okay, fall back.
Well, you're a little strong
You're a
there.
little strong. Yeah, you're a little strong. Because I really did want that there were certain things that I did like that you did. Like
Hmm.
I like it when you kill alligators when I know here in Texas they call them what they
Alligators,
call them here in Texas.
lizards,
No, they don't even call them lizards. They call
Geico,
them geico. Yeah, like
Gecko
it's
or Geico,
yeah, like it's
whatever.
the insurance company or whatever. But to me, that's an alligator. It's just a baby alligator. But I like when you got rid of those and got them out the house. And
Hmm.
but I remember one time you told me, no, you kill it yourself. Like
Yeah,
you get rid of it yourself. You wearing
because
the
it,
pants tonight.
because
So
it can't be two of
two
us
of
in it.
us.
You know what I'm saying? And so if you're gonna kill it, I might as well, take the step back since you strong with the other situation that we just
Uh,
had.
and I was trying to figure out what just happened. What did
Yeah.
I do? And I thought about it, and I didn't come across as respectful
Hmm.
and like I honored you because there is a certain way we speak to each other when we
Hmm.
respect one another and we honor one another. And sometimes I had to reflect on that. Am I being respectful in my voice or in my tone? That's what we figured out. Sometimes it was my tone, my voice tone. Um, not only am I being respectful, but am I being kind?
Hmm.
Because sometimes
Said.
we could be kind to strangers
Hmm.
and we won't give that kindness to the one we say we love.
And that's because of you don't respect him or
Yeah.
you don't respect her.
Her, wow.
And that is why in a lot of relationships, that's
Mm.
why um, they speak the way they speak,
Wow.
you know,
Mm.
because they don't respect the office that you hold,
Oh my.
you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk to my mother the
Mm-hmm.
way that some people talk to their wives.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes.
I would never
Mm-hmm.
call my mother out of my name. So why am I calling
Good.
you out of your name?
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
Yeah, but I think that's one good thing that I appreciated about you and I was um before we even got married, we set some rules. Like
Hmm.
I think because of what we've been through in the past, that we wouldn't call each other out of our names.
Hmm.
And it's been, 24 years for us to be together
Hmm.
and we've not called each other out of our names.
Nope.
Now, I'm not saying you might not have felt like it.
You go say, I might not felt like it. Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right.
You may not have, you may
Okay.
have, they might have flashed past your head.
Okay.
But I appreciate that being with you have allowed me to focus more on myself.
Hmm.
And I feel like you and I have grown because our ability. Oh, this is one thing you said. I was talking to you about something that I was bothered by. And you looked at me and you said, you know what? I'm going to do better
Hmm.
because better is in me.
Hmm.
And whoa, oh my.
I, I, you know, a lot of times we stop growing,
Yes,
and we take on our uncles and uh, mothers and
yes,
big mamas ways.
yes. Mm-hmm.
We take on their ways, or that's just the way I am.
Yes,
Deal with it.
yeah.
And I have always felt like that, in order for us to have a good relationship,
Mm-hmm.
there are some things that I had to change.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I had to change me.
that's real.
I couldn't focus on you. I
Yes,
had to
sir.
focus on me,
Mm-hmm.
because what are them things that you was complaining about, or just not really just complaining, but just saying, hey, this
Yes,
is, I don't like that.
yes,
I don't like the
sir.
way it makes me feel.
Right.
Your tone was a little loud.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with you, I have learned to kind of come down,
Mm-hmm.
talk to you
Yes.
respectfully,
Mm.
and that has worked out for us.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And I also like the fact that even with us talking, like one of the things that we realize is that we're not leaving each other. and we would continue to say that to one another.
Right.
You know, the divorce is not an option
Right.
for us. We're taking that off the table, so we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And what we've learned is that it wasn't a moment to a deal breaker.
Hmm.
It was just a teachable moment.
And I think that when people have options on the table, they're most likely to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're
you
most.
said you always say
Yeah.
that.
Well, listen, if you, you how
If
did
you
I say
have a
that?
plan B,
Yeah, no.
oh,
Have a plan A
uh-huh.
or something like that, but don't get a plan B. It was
Mm-hmm.
something.
Well, you was
Stick to plan A
mm-hmm.
because if you have a plan
Plan
B,
B, you
you
will
will see
see
your
your
way
way
out.
out.
That's what it was.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And that is
sir.
very true.
It is
When there are options,
very
when there are
prophetic.
options on the table,
Yes, sir.
most likely you'll take it.
Uh-huh.
But if you're forced to stay,
Yes, and
well,
figure it
not
out.
well. I don't. No, that's kind of a strong word for some people.
Yes.
So if you have to stay,
Mm-hmm.
figure it
Or
out.
decided to honor your
Yeah,
covenant, honor your marriage vows, honor you keep your family
figure
together.
it out.
Yeah.
I got tired of being in relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Like I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm tired of saying, is she the one or is she the one? You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir. No, I
And
get
God
it.
brought me you.
Mm.
We have grown together.
We
We have
have.
cried
Yes,
together.
sir.
We have laughed
Yes,
together.
sir.
We've been mad at each other.
Yes,
We
sir.
made up, you
Uh-huh.
know. We have prayed
Forgave
mad.
each other.
We have prayed mad.
Yes.
We have prayed made up, you know. So,
Yeah. And
you know,
and quick to forgive one
and we have
another.
been quick to forgive.
The other good thing I love about us is we wasn't nervous about bringing the right people into our marriage to help us navigate
Hey, Talisha.
through valleys,
Yes.
through bad
Hmm.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wasn't I like that about us.
Hmm.
That we wasn't well, and another thing, even when we was trying to pursue help
Hmm.
for our marriage because we just couldn't, agree on an issue, most
Hmm.
of the time it probably was the children.
Hmm.
If we couldn't agree on something, we would bring a professional in or a pastor in,
Hmm.
and you know, we didn't. Some people say I don't want people to be in my business,
Hmm.
but okay,
So
well,
when you divorce,
everybody's
everybody's
in
in
your
your business.
business, okay? Like everybody's in your business. Everybody know now, and it's out there. So this is the other thing too, is that we have to get to a place where we can make sure that we I I, I want to say create a safe place
Hmm.
to not attack each other
That's good.
just because we're getting
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Like I found couples that come before us and they would talk, but they would like just
Attack.
slaughter each
Yeah.
other. And so you and I had to come up with
Hmm.
rules
Hmm.
that we can't slaughter each other. We can't
That's
so
off the table.
that's off the table. So what I would need to hear is what are you working on concerning you?
Hmm.
And that is one of our cues that someone need therapy
Yes.
and not coaching,
Oh, yeah.
is because a person is not willing to work on themselves
Themselves,
first.
and the focus has to be on
On you.
yourself.
Yes, sir.
You have to work on
On you.
yourself.
Uh-huh.
If it's not working,
Uh-huh.
first of all, don't let it be the first thing we do. Is the first thing is we walk out.
Right. That's the first option.
That's the first option.
That's good.
The first option should be, let's work on me.
Yes. Yes.
Let me
Yes.
take the focus off you and let me work on me. What can I do better?
Yes.
How can I speak to you respectfully
I like that.
without hollering?
Yes, that's
You know what I'm
good.
saying?
Oh, yes.
Because a lot of times people are raised up in homes where everybody hollering.
Yes.
I mean, they hollering up the stairs. You know what I'm saying? Just hollering. You right there next to them, they hollering. Give me that knife.
Yes.
What you got? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
um,
Right.
I have learned to really approach approach the conversation a little differently.
Yeah.
uh, to where it's not, you're not intimidated, or
Right.
you're not saying,
Or
yeah,
defensive or clapping back.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So,
think that, one of the things I think is important as well is just wow, just when you focus on yourself is to figure out what it is that in this season my spouse needs,
hmm
and what is it that I need in this season, and how can I work on me while checking the temperature of my spouse.
hmm
Like where are they at? How are they doing? Is everything okay? And maybe is he heavy because there's a lot going on at work, there's changes going on, there's decisions that have to be made, and he's a little heavy.
hmm
And then how do I give you that space and work on myself as well?
hmm
And I begin to try to use opportunities like that when I see that you were kind of out of your element,
hmm
not to attack you. Because like before, when we first got together, I used to get upset. I'm like, what? Hey, why you not talking? Like, why you not walking through the door playing? Like, where's this attitude? Where's you got this stone face, kind of like, where's that from? And instead of being taking it personal, now I begin to say, okay, I wonder what is babe going through, and I pray for you, and I'll say, let me pray for hubby and lift him up before God and ask God to touch him.
hmm
So that helped me is by watching you through the years, realizing that hey, you're not trying to pick a fight with me so you can leave out the door to cheat. You're not trying to pick a fight with me because you're over, you're done, you're tired of me, you're on to something. I had to get all of this out of my spirit and out of my head and mind. I believe you created a safe space for me to have the room to grow
hmm
like I needed to.
Oh man, this is really good.
Yeah.
This is really good. And a lot of couples need to know how to uh, focus on
Hmm.
themselves
Yes.
instead of
Attacking the other
attacking and
person.
fighting and
Yeah.
stabbing,
Oh my gosh.
all that, you know.
Yes.
And I believe that there are people who want great relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think that people just want to walk away.
Yeah.
I think that they just don't have the answers.
Right. That's good.
They don't have the answers.
But it's easy to leave. It's easy to quit.
Well, one of my mentors, Les Brown used to say, if you do what's easy,
Hmm.
life will be hard.
Yes.
Think about this. If you do what's easy, life will be hard.
Yes.
You can keep walking away and still be depressed.
Yes.
You know, you can walk away and still be poor. You
Oh
know,
my.
but if you hang in there, if you
Yes,
do what's
sir.
hard, life will be easy.
Oh, that's good.
And we have done the hard thing.
Mm.
We have made it through difficult times. We have made it through
Sir.
losing loved ones. We done made it
Sir.
through on financial issues. We
Mm.
done made it.
Yes, sir.
Life is becoming easy.
Easier. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it's
You
coming
right.
easy,
Easier. You right.
easier.
You're
You
right.
know,
You're
life is
right.
not how it was
Mm-hmm.
in the
I
past.
just told someone that earlier.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
life has become easier
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't do it our way.
Uh-huh.
We try to do it God's
God's
way.
way. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love our love.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love it too.
I love us, and I love being with you.
hmm
I love being your wife. I love the man that you are. I love your presence. I miss you whenever we're apart.
mm
You're the perfect man for me.
Yeah.
Perfect man
Yeah,
for
you're the
me.
perfect woman for me.
No.
Yeah. You calm me.
No.
You know, I'm secure with you. And
Nothing.
that's what I want to make you feel secure with me.
Mm.
The reason why most women walk out of relationships because they don't feel secure.
Mm.
They don't feel protected and they
Wow.
don't feel loved.
Mm.
And so if it's just like a woman not having a father, the
Mm.
father wasn't there, so she couldn't get what respect was or what
Wow.
love was
Mm-hmm.
because there was no father there.
Wow.
So, uh, so when they get into a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
if there's no love, there's no protection and all that,
Mm-hmm.
women most likely will just leave. You
Yeah.
you don't find men leaving.
Mm.
You really don't find men leaving.
Mm.
If they do leave, they done been through a whole bunch of stuff, and now I'm fed up.
Oh my.
But most men won't leave, you
Mm.
know. But women will because
Mm.
the not having being secure,
Mm.
protected, and loved.
Mm. Oh my, that's good.
Mhm.
That's good. Well, wow.
Mhm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I hope, that bless someone us sharing a little bit about us because, sometimes I just wish we would have had these conversations years ago. I think that we would have made it through a lot of bumps and hurts and scabs and scars
Mhm.
a lot easier. I
Yeah.
think things would have been a lot easier.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like Talisha Johnson said, honor God.
yes.
Honor God. That is so good.
Yes. Yes.
That is so good because we are losing the battle because there is no honor.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Good, Talisha.
And Lena said something too. Hey, Lena, thank you for being on with us tonight. Focus is so important and very much
Need it.
needed.
Wow. That's
Yes.
good.
Focus on us, focus on self. Focus on self. Sometimes we're always trying to correct each other and trying to get each other straight. And it is okay. It's okay for your partner to make a mistake.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's okay for the children to make mistakes.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's how we learn off of our mistakes. And um, yeah,
Yeah. That's good.
yeah.
Well, it's time for us to get off this live feed, I think. But
Okay.
this was a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, focus on
On
ourselves,
ourself.
you know,
Yeah.
self focus.
Self focus.
And I
Yeah.
believe that if we begin to self focus, you know, I believe that you won't be so focused on your spouse.
Yeah.
You'll be more focused on what you need to do
Yes.
and what's more important
Mm-hmm.
in your relationship.
That's good, sir.
Because people can see you better than you can see yourself.
Yes, you've
You
always
know?
said that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Charlie used to tell me that, people can see you better than you can see yourself. And so pay attention when someone tells you something about you. Don't take offense to it. Let us examine ourselves. Let's say, hey,
That's so good.
let me see if there's something that I can change. Because there are so many people are so focused on what other people need to change, but not focused on what they need to change. You
Jesus,
guarantee, it's just like a store. The store will say, we'll give you a money back guarantee, but we don't guarantee that for ourselves.
Oh, that's good.
And
That's
so
good.
I think that we have to really do more self-focus than focusing on
The other person.
the other person.
Absolutely. That's good.
Hey, this is Harold and Delonica with Love and Marriage. And I think that's it.
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. I love y'all. I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely.
Peace.
You just experienced the Love and Marriage broadcast with Harold and Delonica. They hope you took notes and have some aha moments and are ready for some more. You can join them on Facebook with Love and Marriage Talks on Facebook.com/Love and Marriage for Purpose or live on YouTube at Love and Marriage with Harold and Delonica. Tell Harold and Delonica your love story. They listen to every pitch, and you may be chosen to come on as a guest. Send your story to loveandmarriageradio@gmail.com. Don't forget to tell Harold and Delonica who you are and where you're located. Their show is shown all around the world. Thanks for tuning in to Love and Marriage Broadcast.